Good evening and welcome to my end of the week recap video here for Apple and plan ahead for next week. I'm still searching for an earnings play. Um, Yesterday, or actually the prior day, excuse me, I got these 225 calls as a lotto. Did not work out. I managed to salvage some of that capital and got out here at 37 cents. I can go ahead and remove this broadening pattern here because it does not seem like that's going to play out. It's already broken. And going to look for some trades for earnings. Haven't moved my notes over yet, but price action has reclaimed this massive volume area from quad witching. Once it breaks above this trend line, let me go ahead and extend this down. I will actually be looking for some 225 calls for next week. That will be 19 or 26 October. Depends on what they're priced at. If the volatility or implied volatility, excuse me, is not too high, meaning they're not too expensive, I will go into the 26 Octobers. Just have to wait and see what happens on the open on Monday. If price action does decide to pull back, which I highly doubt, just like the SPY, there's been a tremendous amount of volume. We're not at the 200 SMA, we're actually higher and showing significant amount of relative strength compared to the overall market. Price action still very close to all-time highs. Um, Bears, in my opinion, probably getting a little delirious, thinking, "Oh, it's over. Everything's going to sell off. The market's finished." I just don't see that. Zooming in here a little bit, you can see Apple is actually putting in kind of a broadening pattern, which may indicate we're just simply consolidating. We're pulling back, finding support, which is normal. That is price action. You hit a high, you pull back, find somewhere there's more interest in the name, and buyers take over, and then it continues in the trend. It doesn't even have to be people participating. A lot of times it's just computers and algorithms. Anyways, um, prior support right here, 216.60, held very nicely. It did dip down here to 212.5. No big deal. Just kind of hit this descending trend line. I mean, found support and reclaimed the 50 SMA with a significant amount of strength. So looks like it's going to continue higher. This is essentially a hammer candlestick here on the day with elevated volume, maybe not compared to yesterday, but you can see the past couple of days has been an extreme amount of volume for Apple. Zooming out here to the weekly time frame, we have a doji cross on a tremendous amount of volume. So worst case scenario now, in my opinion, is we do chop around and go side to side until we do have that earnings catalyst and pushes price one way or the other. Above here is going to be stops for shorts, and below here is going to be the buy the dipper stops. So whichever way it breaks outside of here, most likely going to have another leg. I mean, there's a lot of volume, so assume about half of this is above for stop losses and half of it is down below here for stops. So just worth mentioning that and keeping that in mind. Zoom out here a little bit more to the monthly time frame. We've now put in an outside month, which it is still red overall. However, there is a chance and a possibility that this does continue to rally, takes out this month's open at 227.95. If that occurs, this turns into a green hammer at highs, may potentially turn into a momentum hammer, or could even turn into a hanging man type of reversal. But key thing to remember is we are over this quad witching volume, which brought in a tremendous amount of participation, a lot of new owners to the stocks if options were exercised. So just a level to keep in mind going forward. So with all that said, really just looking for this breakout over to 223-ish roughly for the 225 calls. If for some reason we do actually drop all the way down here to one of these other supports, I'll look for 210 calls plus 3 weeks. That will put me into an earnings swing play. And way down here at the 200 SMA, my note is still down there at 190 for 190 calls about 4 weeks in the future. For now, that's my Apple ideas and my Apple trade plan. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down below. Have a good weekend and good luck on Monday.